guys, ESR Stone back at it again for another video. That's going to take a while to get used to. But we're back for another video, another round of Apex Online Racing Season 14 Championship. This time we are at Bahrain, a track that I usually don't like, but in practice I was actually setting some pretty decent laps. I mean, they weren't blistering by any means, but decent laps around here would be like 28 ones, 28 deads, and I was managing to do those laps near the end of Sunday. But don't know why I just said it like that. I'm a bed mess. But obviously this was probably like the first race where I think I legitimately had pace to score some very good points. So top 7, top 6. I thought I had the pace to do that. Obviously, what we usually don't do, we show you the start of qualifying, because issues occurred in qualifying. I will mention again, I did, if you remember back to the last episode, I'd say last episode, to the last race, I mentioned about the FPS drops. I had the same thing again. I'm not sure if this is just the host, which is SDL, EVR Cal, I don't know. Because I don't remember having these FPS issues in Australia when I believe Jason was host. And Jason was always host, I think, don't quote me on that, for the other races like in last season. I can't remember that for certain because I didn't race, so don't quote me. But at least when Jason was host, I personally didn't experience any FPS issues on 2016, of course. This could just be a new thing for 2017 where you get about 19 ridiculously quick drivers onto a track and the game can't render how fucking rapid we are. But apart from Brosiek. But I'm not quite sure why this is happening. It's not my internet, because my internet was fine. I know the game does have its tendencies to cause random lag spikes with cars on the track, so that's always a thing to look out for. But yeah, this race was gonna be very interesting. To what I saw, the field was actually very, very close on pace, as we're gonna come across the line for a lap time that I can't quite see on my monitor, on my preview screen. But I think it was at 28.7. Not a rapid lap. In my first runs, I had been doing, well, I have managed 28 2s and 28 1s in my first run in qualifying, which is really good. And usually you can gain like 3/10 on your second run with the track evolution, or probably, yeah, evolution and that. So you know, 27s was on the cards, I'm pretty sure, but I hadn't actually done a 27 yet, so you know, confidence for that wasn't exactly high. Usually qualifying isn't my strong point anyway in recent games, but usually my pace is in the race. But qualifying would help. I mean, a decent example of that would be Jason, and how he's got very good race pace and racecraft, but his qualifying is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. Anyway, we're back at the pits. We're going to lower the fuel and add a new set of tyres. We're going to go out with about 2 minutes, or 2.5 minutes left in the session, to go for our final run. As you can see, we're going to have a look at the... Well, we're going to have a look at the race weather, which is obviously going to be dry. As you can see, Matiz was currently top of the field, ahead of Finn, Bamley, Martin, SDL or EVR Cal now, JD, Evo, Alonso, myself, and Eggy Simon. Currently P9 wasn't actually bad. I was alright with P9, considering that lap was quite atrocious. I mean, you saw out of the hairpin in the middle sector, turn 6, I want to say it is. I got a lot of oversteer on the exit, and that would have cost me probably about a 10th just from that, and into the run to the downhill left-hander where you can always lock up. Flying Fitness retired for the session after he just set a 27.7, which is a very quick lap time. But we are going to start our lap. Lowest amount of fuel, we're trying to get the most out of the track evolution, and we're going to come across the line. We're going to activate the DRS as soon as possible. It didn't activate when I pressed it, which is always decent. Running into turn 1, you want to look, you'll be braking between the 150 and 100 meter boards. Coming into turn 1, you want to trail brake a little bit. Don't take that much curb, or else you're just going to unsettle the car. Try and quick shift from 2nd to 5th just to control the track. You could go 2nd to 4th, but personally I don't have the confidence in the car to do that. Here you want to go into 8th, downshift to 4th, braking at the 100-metre board, just about clip the apex, run out a little bit wide, straighten up the car as soon as possible to get the power down, take up as much curve there as possible, downshift to 5th, turn in, try and make sure you don't do that, and that loses you about 3/10 in just the middle sector alone. That right there basically writes off my entire lap, but we're going to keep going. Into the downhill left-hander, you want to brake when you get into the middle of the track, or when you get close to the main apex of the corner. Going down this back straight, you'll be looking just before the 50-metre board where all the cars and like cranes are, whatever it is. Going to 4th and quick and upshift to 5th. Flat out through here, obviously. Now I look for the orange barrier on the right, but downshift to 4th there. Get on, straighten the car as soon as possible to get the power down. And coming into the final corner, you'll be wanting to brake on the curb and down when at the 100-metre board. Downshift to 4th, straighten the car as soon as possible again, try and control the oversteer, and up to the line. As you can see, that middle sector was a complete shock, and we went from P9 down to P13 to P12, and I lost 3/10 in just the middle sector alone. As you can see, my first sector was alright, 28.4, my PB was a 28.3. My middle sector, I lost 3 whole tenths in just the middle sector alone, and even in the last sector I'm a 10th down. So that could have been possibly a 27.8 or even a 27.9 or just a 28 dead, and that would have done absolute wonders for me in qualifying. I think I could have ended up starting in the top 4, which is unbelievable. That just shows you can't make mistakes in qualifying in this season, because the grid is just so close. Like, if you remember back to when I showed you the standings on qualifying before, the top 5 was separated by about a 10th, which is ridiculous. As you can see, there's a Force India of Taylor the Vole that's facing the wall. But we're going to prepare for the start of the Bahrain Grand Prix from P12. We have 5 red lights, and it's lights out and away we go, getting a pretty good start on Alonso. SDL Cal bogging down a little bit, he's being jumped by Jason. We're looking on the inside to see if there's any room, but Jason's holding that off, and he's braking a little bit early, trying not to get involved in the collision with EliteSimRacing. I think that is going out a bit wide, pushing all round. We kind of got touched by all-rounder. Going out a bit wide at turn 2, and we've actually lost a place off the start. So I think Stu came from like 15th, and he's already up into like, he's just in front of us there. Going up the inside of Jason as he brakes a bit early. And we're going to come in, we're going to make a bit of contact with him as well. We're going to dive it down his inside. Try not to make contact with SDL Cal or EVR Cal. I'm just going to call you Cal, really. Looking at the outside of Cal, who's on the outside of Stu, which it's just not going to end well, is it? All-rounder also having a bit of a battle with a Williams there, I think. That would be Alonso, but I'm not sure if that is him. Coming into here, and we lose the front wing, which is always brilliant. I got slightly put off by all-rounder. It was just a lack of concentration for myself, and I've run into the back of Cal, and that is basically the race. The race is an absolute write-off from this point onwards, because I'm going to lose about an extra 5 seconds at the pits. I'm P11 at the moment, and that's just curtains. That's curtains. You know, we're going to be understeering the middle sector as well. Just left-handed corners is just going to be an absolute pain. Like, I will say that the understeer actually wasn't bad. I did struggle with lockups because obviously there's less downforce to sling the car into the corner, as Bam Lee is currently leading the way. But overall the understeer wasn't bad. My straight line speed clearly isn't there, but I did read on Twitter something like when your engine gets to like 125 degrees, your overall powered, your straight line speed is affected by that, which I wasn't aware of. Obviously I would know if I knew that engine, like temperatures would bottle your engine, obviously. But I didn't check that in the race. I never usually do, as Cal is trying to make a move on EliteSimRacing that didn't work for him, as we looked on his outside. But we back out of that, taking a bit too much curve there, running a bit too wide. But currently we're in a train for, I think this is P7 at the moment, with Stu topping this queue in front of EliteSimRacing, Cal, myself, and Jason just behind. As we're going to go straight off because I don't know why. Controlling the power on the exit. But yeah, like I said, it's not Cal's fault because, well, it's quite clear that it wasn't his fault. You know, everyone's going slowly on lap 1 to, you know, keep their front wing intact, and obviously I don't do practice with a large group of people, so I was obviously going to get involved in some sort of collision, which is just going to end my race as a whole. I guess that could be an answer to why my racing in China was actually very aggressive, because I only end up doing practice sessions with like 2 people, and I start in the mid-pack because my qualifying is an absolute shock. And I end up in the midfield, and because I'm not aware of how slowly you should be going when you're in a pack of about 20 cars, obviously that affects what I end up doing, and I go for ridiculous moves and brake a bit later than what I really should be, as Jason had a look on our inside as we came out of that little section a bit slowly, but we managed to hang on to that position, slightly out-braking ourselves into the whatever that is, turn 9 or something. I honestly have no clue. That's the end of lap 3. We're going to come on to lap 4. Eggy Simon going very defensive. We're trying to keep in the slipstream of SDL Cal. Or just Cal. I need to just call him Cal because he didn't change his name. Just trying to make sure that we don't lose the place to Jason so he can't dive it down our inside. We turn in a bit early then, make a little bit of contact with Cal as we still cut the corner, and there goes Eggy Simon. He's going to say hello to the Bahrain fans in the gravel traps, that is. And that's basically going to be the end of Eggy Simon's race, who was actually doing very well. I don't know where he qualified. You know, he's running in P8 though, which was obviously very good, and I think he was in P7 at one point, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, we're just trying to hang on now to P9. You know, we just got to stretch out this stint up until out of pit stop, really. But Jason's all over the back of us. He's obviously got his full front wing. I think he's got... No, he hasn't got fresh tyres, I don't think. But there's NLR Evo, who actually ran off on the first lap. I think he was pushed off the track by... I'm not going to say who, or else I'm going to get slaughtered for that. But he got pushed off by someone, and he had to take to the runoffs and all that. He's now made a move on Jason, as my throat is going very dry because I'm talking a lot. Evo, I have just a fun little thing that I ended up doing just about this straight at the back. Oh, I can't talk. What I was doing on the back straight was looking behind, obviously to see where Evo is. But he had the number 1 on, which is interesting. Good to see that you sweat out career mode, Evo. That really you just did that to see if you can get the number 1. I don't know. But I thought that was just a bit interesting considering, well, nothing really. Evo's going to look down our inside, the F1 Esports finalist, but we're going to try and get a cut back on him out of turn 2, get a good run into 5th gear, control the power, and we're going to go around his outside, and that is the move done. Decent move, I think, but coming into turn 3 or 4, whatever this is, Evo pops it back up our inside, but we're going to get the cut back again on Evo. We're going to look on his inside, but we're going to back out of it just because it's going to waste his time, my time, and overall it's just going to ruin our races. As we're both going to go very wide, and I'm going to outbrake myself very late indeed. And I think I actually made contact with Evo, and I ended up squeezing Jason off a little bit. At this point, my tyres are going. The front wing is obviously going to have a massive effect on that as well, with the overall performance of the car. And I was aiming to pit lap 8 because I was in a fight with Cal. He was aiming to do the 1 stop, and unfortunately I was aiming to do the 2 stop, which was well, let's just say it's not going to end very well for me. But Jason, up or inside, we had to make a slight lift in the middle of the corner because we were just going to understeer off. And Jason once again makes a very nice move on us, a lot like China, where I had to lift off again. Well, I didn't have to, I just did for whatever reason, and Jason managed to capitalise on that. We seem to be battling Jason quite often now. I guess it's just due to us having crappy qualifyings, maybe, I don't know. But we are going to stay in the slipstream of Jason. We're not going to make a move on him because, like I said, it's just going to waste our time, it's going to waste his time, and it's just going to kill our tyres as he actually locks up and goes in very deep into turn 1. Obviously, this isn't the race I was hoping for. Like I said, I think I had the pace for like the top 6. I think practice times showed that I did have that pace, I believe, but obviously not everything goes your way all the time. Lap 8, nobody came into the pits, so it was all up to me to get that free pit stop, change that front wing, not speed into the pit lane, and capitalise on an undercut, which really I wasn't going to be able to capitalise on anything because I was going to get a painfully slow pit stop. As we see, removing the front wing, everyone getting the tyres on, waiting for them to plop the front wing on, slightly mess up this leaving the pit lane, or leaving the pit box, and we now capitalise on that. Enabling or disabling the pit limiter, coming out of the pits now. And from here on, we just need to really just sweat. We just need to pump in the lap times, do what we can, because I thought a few people would be doing the 2-stop. I was unaware of how much quicker the 1-stop actually was. I didn't do enough race strategy, like, practice. I thought... I knew the 1-stop was possible, don't get me wrong. I knew I could probably take the softs to lap 10, especially since I was on fresh... super softs, I mean. But, obviously, didn't happen. Go across the line on lap 10, we're still in P13 at the moment. We set the fastest lap of the race. Are we gonna go up any places? No, we're not, because of our extra like 5-6 seconds time in the pits. We've come up behind Evo and everyone else, which is a bit very frustrating. What is annoying is that I probably should have gone late. Like I could have gone longer, and then plopped on the mediums, and then just gone to the end. And realistically, it would have helped my race. Looking back at it, obviously it would have helped my race. But obviously, you know everything in hindsight. You know what you could have done correctly or over what you did wrong. But up in front, Cal was actually hit by Jason as Jason was trying to outbrake Stu, and he just plopped into the back of Cal. Jason gave him the place back. But due to all of that, Evo and Stu, they were all slowed down due to like 2 or 3 spinning cars. So we've got to capitalise on that. We turned in a bit too early for that corner, getting into corner semi-decently. Jason runs off the track. We're looking at his outside. Jason has a compromised line through the hairpin, so we're going to capitalise on that. We're going to look on his inside. We're going to have the inside line. We're going to have the racing line for this corner. And Jason, he's actually run off the track, so I'm not sure if that was because he's broken on the curb, maybe he's just broken too much and locked up. I don't think I squeezed him or anything, but if I did, then apologies, but I'm pretty sure I didn't. Anyway, lap 15, lap 17 now. We're still in P10, I think. Well, I don't think we were in P10 to begin with, but we're in P10 now. SDL Cal just in front of us, and he's informed me that because my pace was... I was on the softs, obviously, and he was on the mediums. He was planning to do the 1-stop. But he said that he would let me pass if I got close enough on the straight. He said he'd just brake a bit early into turn 1, and I could go up his inside, which he did. So, shout out to you, Cal, for allowing me to go through. Obviously, he didn't need to do that, and I actually was... Well, in the moment, I actually thought it was going to affect us, because at that point my softs were going off, and at that point the mediums would end up quicker. As you can see, we've gone from lap 18, I think, to lap 28, we're going on to lap 29. I didn't record any footage, nothing really happened. I made a pit stop for supers, set a fastest lap, and I was hoping that some people would come into the pits, and nobody did. Clearly the 1-stop was the right strategy to go on, and I've just bottled that completely. I've jewed over any chance I had with points, and it's all because I didn't know the strategy. So that just shows you can't make mistakes, because I think it's obvious the 1-stop should have been quicker, but I thought my pace advantage on the supers in comparison to old mediums would be a lot higher. Like I thought I'd be like 2 seconds a lap quicker, which I sort of was, but well, no, I wasn't actually lapping 2 seconds a lap quicker, but yeah, that's completely my fault. You know, P13 out of 13 due to a lot of retirements, disqualifications, and well, just all of that. But Jason is in front of us. I think he actually has a puncture at this point, but somehow he was still going very quickly. As you see, I think you can just about... I think he had a front left, front right puncture, I'm not sure. Couldn't quite see what puncture he had, but I'm sure it was a front tyre puncture anyway. And as you see, Cal in front of us also had a puncture as well. So clearly they were in a collision as well. So maybe their spin must have cost them a bit more tyre wear, and that overall cost them any chance of points. And I'm going to slot back down to 13th because I had a penalty which I didn't record. Yeah, that was just a shocking race. That was completely my fault. You know, I messed up qualifying, I messed up the strategy, I messed up my race by running into the back of Cal. This race is more of something where I'm just going to look back and think what could have been, as my dog is probably barking. And I'll say probably it is barking, I'm not sure if you can hear that, so sorry. But the Flying Finn, he takes home a second win of the season. Probably his like 20th win in AOR or something, ahead of Tyrrell Martin. And Surprise Bear gets, I believe, his second or first AOR podium, so congrats to you, bro. But Danny Kvyat, stunning drive to P4, which is Tyrrell Leminis, who left the session. NLR Evo, who we were battling, got P5, ahead of Stu, Matiz, Alonso, Bamley, OMG Joe, Cal, Jason, and myself. The race, obviously, like I said, I screwed up to myself, so I can only apologise just for messing it up, really. But yeah, we're gonna have quite a long break until we come back for AOR Russia because of the Mexican and American Grand Prix in real life, F1 getting in the way of that. But anyway, guys, I do hope you enjoyed this video. Like the video if you did, subscribe if you're new, leave a comment on your thoughts of the championship so far, even what you thought of the battle for the lead. And anyway, guys, I will see you in my next video. Cheers.